welcome to this episode of Dinner with Macleans. And then it said breakfast with Macleans there, I don't know why. Anyway, Dinner with Macleans. It was actually breakfast time for us when we had this call. The sun had only just risen, and because we were calling the UK, it was kind of evening time for them, so they were having dinner. But yeah, this guest was, wow, really cool to chat to. He shares my name. It was Ewan McGregor, who, as I'll say later on in the interview, has genuinely been a very useful thing in basically travelling anywhere outside of Scotland, because most people can't pronounce my name if they're not Scottish, unless you say Ewan McGregor. For some reason, if you say McGregor after Ewan, everyone can pronounce it fine. So yeah, we had a great chat with Ewan. He is an absolute legend of the silver screen. One of Scotland's finest actors of all time. He's obviously done some really cool trips himself over the years, big motorbike rides, and yeah, we had a lot of common ground to talk to him about. So we talk a little bit about his experience of having ridden his motorbike many miles, and the challenges of being away from family for 4.5 months. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this episode. We absolutely love chatting to Ewan, and we're hoping that we can follow up with him on that offer of taking him out for a row, maybe on Lachlan or something like that when we get back. Enjoy.
Fuck me. Go away. With that?
How are we doing?
That's it. Just like that. There's no.
There's no.
Man.
We just connect and we're on. Bloody hell.
Oh, I thought we'd go through some other people and be like, we're trying to get hold of the boat. Wait a minute. No. Straight in.
Hang on. I was going to try and put a light on, but it's can you see me? You can. Oh, it's getting light now, right?
It's like it's first thing in the morning for you guys, is it?
It is, yeah. So the sun is just starting to rise, and we went through the international date zone, I think yesterday or the day before. Right. Although none of our clocks have changed, so we were worried we were going to miss you just because it's been such a confusion.
Oh, I see, yeah.
Time zones.
No, people have been texting me about times and stuff, so here we are. My
awesome.
God. How are you all doing?
Good, very good. Jamie's lurking behind me. He was going to come on a little bit early because you're 5 minutes early, and he was going to test something. But
do you want me to go
I think we'll just go for it. And
I'll go away and come back if you like.
No. He was going to surprise you with something, but I'm going to duck out of the way.
Okay.
And yeah, it is, yeah. Right, Jamie, off you go.
Oh, yes. No way. Holy shit.
That worked.
Oh my God.
Did that come through okay?
I was like, sit down. Just let them sitting down. Don't be standing up.
Oh amazing. My God. This is so cool.
So cool. I'm so amazed to meet you all and to speak to you. So is it just two of you up? Is someone else?
No. Lachlan. Morning.
Oh, there he is.
This is me getting out of my bed.
How are you, Lachlan? Did you go over the side?
You did. I went over the side, yeah.
How long ago was that?
This is literally me waking up. So what a bizarre way to wake up.
I'm so sorry. I'm sorry to wake you up.
No, it was
What an amazing way to wake up.
it was definitely Jamie. Yeah.
When did you go over? When was you swept over the side?
So yeah, it was about what day are we now? So Sunday. I guess it was about 10 days ago. What was the storm?
Yeah, about that. Yeah.
Yeah, about 10 days ago we were caught up in an anti-cyclone.
Yeah.
So it's been the last 2 weeks it's been a bit of a roller coaster. Yeah, so we caught
was
by
that
some
like?
bad weather and it lasted. It was about 36 hours, like in the actual storm.
Yeah. And was that
Yeah,
like night? Was it at night? I mean, what was that?
yeah,
Describe it. What the hell was that like?
yeah. It was it was so basically it was kind of like 2 nights and 1 day, kind of in the thick of it.
Yeah.
And it was like biggest conditions we've been in on a small boat, like 40-mile-an-hour winds and big waves. And it was actually on the second night, and we didn't capsize, but we had three. It's like a knockdown. It's
Yeah.
basically you get like a side on. The issue ordinarily we would quite like those conditions, like big waves, and these boats they're designed to kind of surf. So it's like a flat bottomed hull. There's no keel, so you can really you can get up into the plane, and it's really good fun.
Wow.
You can you'll be pegging up the side of a wave, and then if you catch, you get your last oar stroke in right at the top of it. You get up into the plane, and you can surf for a couple hundred meters. It's
Whoa.
exhilarating.
I bet.
But the issue with this storm, for some reason, we had the kind of prevailing wave direction was dead with us. But then we had these rogue waves coming from pretty much 180
Every side,
degrees.
every angle. Yeah.
You get smashed by you'd be surfing down a wave, and then you get smashed from the side. And then the next wave you get smashed from the other side. So anyway, I was on the second night of the storm. I was literally standing where I am right now. I was about to get into the stern cabin. We were just about to start the night shift, which is basically we all do a third of the night shift rowing on our own.
Okay.
And yeah, standing where I am now, kind of looking for a gap in the waves. And I looked out, I had about a second to react. Just this huge rogue wave came in off the port side, and I grabbed onto, it's not the pole that this is on, but beside it we've got an Insta360 camera. So that was the first thing I kind of could grab onto. The wave just came across, and it just took me off my feet. I don't know, it was like being spear tackled by some big Pacific Islander. And yeah, I was just taken off the starboard side. The pole just snapped, and I thought we were capsizing. I wasn't sure what was happening, because the boat reared up to 90 degrees.
Yeah.
And then the next thing I knew I was looking up, and I went from standing where I am now to looking at the back of the boat. I was like, that's an unfamiliar sight.
Wow.
And then
But you weren't
Ewan
alone.
kind of.
Who was up there with you? Ewan.
I was at the other side of the boat, so I was rowing away, and just kind of watching this happen. And you're absolutely helpless in that moment. Time slows down, and you kind of see this thing emerge out of nowhere, because there was no warning. No time to shout and say watch out. I mean, no time for you even to turn your head. It just kind of appeared, took him off. But yeah, I mean, it was definitely. I mean, we're always wearing these kind of. You can't see them, but they're harnesses, and you're attached to the boat. And it's just obviously a reminder to always make sure that you're attached.
Bloody hell. And
It's so important.
if you'd been so when you're doing the night shift and you're doing a third of the night each, you are rowing on your own. The other two are asleep. Is that right?
Exactly. Yeah. And no, exactly that. So that's
what would happen if that happened at night when you were on there on your own? I suppose the wave.
There's a couple things we've actually got these. I'll maybe take it off and show you. It's a wee alarm. This wee thing. And it's basically a proximity alarm and a kind of beacon.
Okay.
So that's the first thing. So that set an alarm off on the boat.
Yeah.
If someone went over. Um, if it's really big conditions, then we'll actually stick a helmet on because, yeah, you obviously if you get hit on the head and you get concussion, then that'd be, that's a really bad situation to be in the water and knocked out. So yeah, wearing a helmet. We do that instead of wearing life jackets, which seems kind of counterintuitive, but because these boats roll, you can
Yeah.
end up just getting wrapped and caught on the wrong side of the boat, being pulled under and not being able to swim under to get back out. So
Yeah.
life jackets are really important, but they're not the first bit of safety equipment you should wear on these adventures. So
No, I've
scary
read
moment.
about it. I've read a lot about I don't know what I'm not a sailor, but I've read a lot about sailing, and
Yeah.
I became fascinated years ago about the very first in 1968 or 69, the first solo around the world yacht non-stop race with Moitié and
Voyage for Madmen.
and then Crowhurst, who cheated, that amazing documentary. So I read a lot about that, and but I have read about that this whole discussion about life jackets and being tethered is obviously essential so that the boat doesn't leave you behind. But then if you've got this big inflatable collar around your neck, you can't necessarily get back up on the boat and stuff like that.
I think with a sailing boat, you probably should, because you could get separated quite easily, or I think easier, and the boat's less likely to roll. But with these boats, because they're flat bottoms, when we did the Atlantic a few years ago, and we had a couple kind of knockdowns as well. But the team that was two ahead of us, they actually pitch poled, I think twice. Yeah, so that's like way. Front. Yeah, that way, which is pretty hairy. So yeah, you've got to kind of pick your tools for being as safe as you possibly can. The other thing we've got on our harness is like it's a thing called a PLB, which is it's like a locator beacon, which worst case, if you did get separated, that would transmit your location to the Coast Guard, and it would actually transmit your location to the boat, so we'd be able to see where you are in the water.
Right, exactly,
But if you're in big conditions, like there's not much turning back is really hard, and it's a rowing boat, for God's sake. Like you can't, we don't have any power really against big conditions.
Yeah.
So,
and what? Because I've been thinking about that, like with this, when you read about people's, sailing trips, they can see weather's coming in, and they talk about trying to scud round it and using the edge of the storm to get speed and stuff. But you guys can't do any of that, can you? You just have to.
We just get hit. We're like a snail. We just see it coming, and then to be honest, because we're limited to, I think our average speed is like 2.6 knots. That's like that's VMG, so that's towards the destination. So probably, I don't know. We're always around 3 knots, maybe a bit less.
It's walking pace.
It's walking pace. Yeah.
Is something steering you? Are you just rowing, and is something steering you there? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So we've got an auto helm. We've got like it's got the kit of like a sailing yacht that's built to go around the world.
Yeah.
So we've got like chart plotter, we've got an auto helm which you just set a course, and it steers the tiller, like keeps you on that bearing.
Right.
And we've obviously got the Starlink, and I mean we're pretty kitted out. We're just very slow.
Yeah. And what about, did you lose anything when you got hit by that wave? Because that's a big issue, isn't it? Did you lose anything off the side?
So most things are tethered. So even like we've got some Ecover for washing up and stuff, like that's got a tether on it. Everything's got a line. The one thing that didn't was a tub of peanut butter.
No.
And it's heartbreaking because peanut butter is like gold on this boat.
That's maybe not me.
Oh,
hang on, boys. I've lost you this for a minute.
That us? Sure.
We're back.
Oh, hey.
Can you see me?
Hi. We can see you.
Sorry, I don't know how. It's insane that we're speaking to each other at all while you're in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, but
it is absolutely bizarre. It was actually a question that we had for you, because I think we've been fans for many years, and like long way rounds.
Yeah.
You talk a bit about the process of
filming that experience and obviously bringing the guys with you to document it, and then the kind of the challenge between that and you having the experience that you wanted to have.
Yes.
And obviously, you've done lots of adventures, over the years. I don't know, how have you kind of managed that, and what's because yeah, it's definitely been an ongoing thing for us of like getting the camera out, sending back some stuff, trying to document things. But yeah,
doing everything twice.
Yes,
Almost,
yes.
yeah.
I mean, it's changed. We've done 4 trips now. We did long way round, long way down, long way up, and then just recently long way home. And it's sort of evolved as technology has evolved. We shot the first one on video, like mini videotapes, and literally tapes, And we had these bags of tapes that we would be terrified that when they went back through when they traveled back to Britain, would they be wiped or erased through the airports? We didn't know. And now, of course, everything's digitized immediately, and we've got a drone, and we don't have to do so many drive-bys. We've got a 360 on the bikes, and so Video and Max, they've got a 360 on a pole, and they ride next to us, and we can get these amazing shots where we're riding under the camera. With the 360, you can really do these incredible shots. And so, but I've sort of become, I think there is a point always where you're like, okay, the filming is now the experience, and sometimes you're frustrated, you want the experience without that. I can only assume you've got time on your hands when you're on an ocean that you can have both the experiences, and they don't, filming something doesn't necessarily negate it. In actual fact, it's beautiful to share it, and it's something I'm really proud of, is that we managed to make these series that encourage people to get out into the world. And I've met so many people that have come up to me saying, some people say, it's a lot of like 50-year-old guys come up to me saying, I bought my first bike because of you and stuff. But somebody's done a trip in their RV, or someone went for a trip with their granda or something, just because and in this world where we're increasingly just looking down at our phones, I love the idea of encouraging people to get out into the world and see it,
Well, genuinely, and this is no word of a lie. So when I was about 14, me and a really good pal, we decided to cycle across Scotland, and it was kind of our first ever fundraising thing.
Yeah.
And I remember photoshopping the long way round, like the poster, the kind of sepia thing, and changed it to called it like long way across or something like that. And genuinely, like it was a real inspiration for me and Rory and his dad, who was a KTM driver, big biker, big fan. And I think that, so it had an influence on me as a kind of young 14-year-old as well.
Well,
So
that's amazing.
No, it's really,
we keep meeting people that tell us. We met this lovely guy when we were up in Norway. We found like a fisherman's shack, on Airbnb or whatever. We thought we'll stay there tonight. And when we pulled up outside it, there was a motorbike over on the other side in front of another shack. And this guy came out in his early 20s, I suppose. And he came up to me and he said, I can't believe it's you. I can't believe it's you guys. I watched your show lying on my dad's lap when I was a kid, and that's why I'm doing this. We both were like, all right, we couldn't believe how old it made us feel that he'd been watching us when he was a little boy, glad. But no, I love, I just love it. And I don't know, it's a balance, isn't it? The filming it. I mean, for us now, there's a sort of, this last trip was even more intense because it was in Europe. There was more, we just came across things all the time. Whereas on the earlier trips, there was much more like crossing Russia. There was days and days where we didn't see anything. Like the landscape barely changed. Kazakhstan, Mongolia. But this last trip was just like things coming at us thick and fast. And but it was great as a result. We met a lot of funny people, and we saw some great things.
We binge listened to the audiobook yesterday.
Oh.
For the long way around. For the long way around,
yeah. Oh, cool.
And we loved it. It was so good.
Who reads
and like
it?
some of the,
I wonder who reads it. I don't even know.
It's on Audible, and the accent, I mean, it's not too similar to yours, to be honest. It's quite like a thick Scottish accent.
Yeah. But then the English voice he actually does quite a good impersonation of you. So it's quite funny.
Oh, how funny.
You got like a dent. Yeah, his voice. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
But yeah, some of those moments I over the last, well, it's kind of different, but my only similar experience is cycling.
Yeah.
And like since I left school like 9 years ago, me and a pal we've been trying to do, we're gonna try and do a circumnavigation in little chunks.
Yeah.
And we've made it to like Georgia, going east.
That's good.
But some of the moments in, it's just like when you get taken in. I think are you in Ukraine, and you're like, are these guys the mafia? And they're like talking about, I don't know. There's like a Tommy gun, and
I
it's
know.
just
killing the pig with a handgun.
killing the pig with a handgun, and you're just like these moments where you're like, obviously not quite as extreme, but it's hilarious just being on the road. Like the scenarios it kind of gets you into. You're like, this is hilarious. Yeah, you couldn't have planned this if you tried.
It opens you up. I've no idea. I mean, what it feels like to be where you are now, but I've always, don't know why, I've dreamed about it. I've got like a little. After I watched your the documentary you made Crossing the Atlantic's fantastic. I thought it was brilliant. I watched it because I've got a little plan, but I'm not at liberty to talk about it. But I've always wanted to know what it felt like to be, because I think, there's lots of things that I'm not particularly interested in breaking records or being the first person to do something, or I think that's all amazing and great, but just where is adventure in our time, when most things have really been done. But still, I would like to find what it feels like, and I'm sure where you are right now is as close to being like at the pinnacle of adventure as you could ever be, because you're just out there on your own, the three of you, and there's no help if you needed it. You have to. You're just totally self-reliant, and it's so fucking impressive. I'm really inspired by the three of you. It's incredible.
That's
Incredible.
super kind of you to say.
Yeah.
We've been listening to quite a lot of kind of audiobooks and stuff like that. One is listening to Shackleton's kind of endurance, and that really puts things into perspective. So like, the hardships that these guys went through, and we've got it easy really. But the other one actually that we've been kind of listening to a bit on is very relevant. It's all the kind of ancient Polynesian navigators.
Oh.
And you think, being out here, because we're really, in it, and we've experienced what it's like to cross, from South America all the way across to like the Marquesas, where there's no land there. It's like 4,500 miles of just absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
And I just can't even fathom, these guys setting off from, South America and just, trusting that they're going to hit these, what are really quite small islands.
Yeah.
And navigating by the stars. And like that. I mean, I don't know what they must have been incredible people, and by the knowledge they must have passed down through generations, and the confidence they must have been able to instill in their generations going on, that they could make it to the next place. Just astonishing.
I think probably going back to your point, I think it's how it differs. I think it is the isolation. I think it's like just feeling like you are kind of, because I think, I don't know, I think like being on land and going from, being in rural, wherever it is, Siberia, I suppose that you are also very isolated. But then when you're going through the little villages and you're like, it's just it's so different.
It's so different,
But it's in like a beautiful way. I think but then I think out here it's probably way more internalized. And way more, I don't know. It's I'd say it's not without sounding, I don't know, it's more of like an internal journey, I'd say, than anything else. And
how do you deal with it if you get like the 3 days of the storm, if you get scared, or how do you deal with the mental positivity, or if it's cold and you're...
No, that is totally it. I think that's one thing that I think the three of us I think we've recognized on this trip particularly, but we really, the whole time we're kind of subconsciously and consciously focusing on kind of positivity and boat morale. And just always trying to keep it, keep feeling good. And I think the more you can look around you and see positives, and just try and recognize how amazing experience this is, as opposed to it's very easy to look at your hands and go, you know, I've got kind of splits all the way across my hands. It hurts to row. Like, you know, we've been on sea anchor for however long, or we've been rowing 3 on, 1 off for the last, you know, and there's really tough moments. I think some of the toughest, to be honest, are sometimes you have conversations with people back home and you miss them more than anything. And you can't, and especially if they're having a tough time and you just don't have it in you to be able to kind of console them, and you're just holding it together. You really are. But then I think with the 3 of us, I think it helps, you know, us being, I don't know whether it necessarily matters that we're brothers, but we all have that outlook of, and that kind of mantra of staying positive and focusing on morale. How do we make each other, you know, get through if they're having a tough time, you know, get back to a positive place. And then it kind of no longer becomes what could be almost a traumatic experience. You can kind of get past it, and you're
I think it's going back to, I think, your point about like when you're documenting something, but you've got like a clear idea of why you're documenting it. You want to inspire others to do stuff. I think for us, like it's charitable fundraising. We're raising money. We're trying to hit £1 million for clean water projects, and we're really, really close to that. And I know that you've done loads of stuff with UNICEF, so it'll be something you're familiar with probably. But we've been to Madagascar a few times, and we've actually got friends in the region that it's an entire municipality that we're trying to give clean water to. Through like a delivery partner out there, and we've got mates that, like, in those villages, and we've said to them, you know, we're going to try and do this and try and raise £1 million. And so again, I think if we didn't have that, the morale would probably run dry. And it's probably similar to you and Charlie. Like if you didn't believe in like why you were doing it and why the story is important to tell, you know, you'd probably run dry, and you'd get a few miles out of town and you'd say, why the fuck are we doing this? Let's go home.
I remember, and you said, I was just going to add, very interesting. You said earlier, like, you don't care about the records, and I think it's absolutely the same. You can't run on that. It's such a superficial thing. It's great for like a press or getting a headline, and that helps with awareness. But you can't base these sorts of trips on that, because first of all, the weather, you know, might not allow. But I think it's too superficial, and it wouldn't keep you positive the whole time.
I certainly don't take away, because you got 3 world records with your first trip, right? The Atlantic one, or?
Well, only one was performance based. We got 2 first 3 brothers and youngest trio, but then the main one was and then the third one was
away from you. But still, you know, I don't take those away. But in terms of like going out there to do it, is like you say, it's not a driving force necessarily. But can I ask you some practical? Can I ask you a practical thing? Oh no, I was going to say about me and Charlie, because I remember in the early trips, like long way round, and especially in long way down, because we did long way down quite quickly after the first one, and it was tricky. The things that I think had bothered us about traveling together in the first one were somehow amplified and magnified in the second one, and I think that's probably why there was such a gap between long way down and then long way up. But I realized on these, we've got so much better at traveling together and closer, because I think it used to bother me if Charlie was in a bad mood one day or something. I'd be riding along going, fuck, why is he in a bad mood? Look where we are. And, you know, and then, but if he was in a bad mood, it would bother Charlie, because why would he? But then we realized, I think, that we don't need to be in the same headspace. And that's actually that's right. We shouldn't always be in the same headspace, and to allow it, and to sort of got much better at seeing where the other one was, and whether to sort of leave Charlie alone for a while, or try and pick him up, or, you know, I think he's got much better at it, and so the trips have got more and more fun. I think long way down was tough for both of us, and this last one was just fantastic. I mean, it was like going out with my brother. Can I ask you some practical questions?
Of course, you and I'm sadly going to have to swap with Jamie, but an absolute pleasure to chat, and Thanks so much for making the time.
I'm so delighted. I'm thrilled to meet you, and good luck with the rest of it. I'll be following you avidly. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Cheers. But yeah, no, practical questions.
Easy.
Please.
Yes. Okay. So when you're sleeping, can you stretch out full, or do you have to sleep with your legs curled up?
Oh, geez. You can stretch your legs straight, but particularly at the beginning of the trip, we just had so much food. I mean, we had, the absolute maximum capacity this boat could possibly carry in terms of food, because we needed to bring, we estimated 120 days being the trip length, and we had to bring a bit of a contingency, so we brought 150 days worth. And when we actually packed it onto the boat, we had bags strapped to the deck even.
Wow.
But inside the cabins, we had stuff lining all the walls and like attached to the roof. And you get in, and it's literally like you had a sliver you'd squeeze into, and you couldn't. It's particularly the cabin that I'm standing above. Your legs go underneath the row deck,
Right.
and you can't actually roll over. Like, there's not enough space for your leg to get over the other leg.
Oh.
So you're kind of trapped in there. It's quite.
Is it claustrophobic? It must be claustrophobic, is it?
You're. I think for the beginning couple weeks, it wasn't very pleasant. I think particularly I don't know if it's the mentality.
All right, hey man. Nice to see you.
Good, thank you.
Thanks for piping us in. That was amazing. Oh my god.
I mean, we weren't sure if it was going to work, but I'm glad you heard the pipes were slightly out of tune, but any excuse to get them out.
Listen, I'm a very, very bad bagpiper myself, so I'm only familiar with out of tune pipes. That's how I roll.
We speak the same language. I'm glad to hear it.
Amazing though. How do you keep them? How do you keep them with all that moisture? It must be a nightmare out there.
They've done remarkably well. I mean, they are a plastic set.
Good.
Maclean bagpipes were so good it was for the Atlantic. I had them. It's the same set, and I just reached out because I had some wooden pipes and I was really worried about the moisture.
Yeah.
And reached out to them, and they were like, "Yeah, sure. Here's a full set of plastic pipes."
Yeah,
which is great.
I've got a set myself. The plastic Macallans.
They work. They work the treat. They're so reliable, and I just keep them in a dry bag in the bow, and they've. I mean, so far I haven't had to change any reeds, so
that's amazing.
I've got one or two. I don't know how good they are, so I'm holding out that they're gonna last. I'm more worried about my lips going.
Yeah, exactly. The muscles in your face. I know if you don't practice.
Because we've rode them. I mean, by the time we get to Australia, we would have rode them almost halfway around the world. And if I can't play them when we're arriving, it's a bit of a disaster. Just dribbling down to my front. It's just.
That's me.
It'd be really quite embarrassing.
After about 5 minutes, that's me, because I never practice. I'm terrible. Oh, man.
Where are you at the moment?
I'm in London. I've been doing a play in London called My Master Builder for the last 12. I started rehearsing on the 10th of March, and we had our very last performance last night on stage at the Wyndham's Theatre in London.
Wow.
And
congratulations on
so much. Yeah, it was amazing to get to the end. Very emotional, and it's doing a play is like a huge journey, from the very first day of rehearsal, from even learning it before you get to the rehearsal room, and then getting to the rehearsal room and really not knowing what it is, and then finding out what it is and putting it in front of people is like fucking terrifying initially, and then to be I would just love the cast, and so to get to the end of it was very emotional last night. And at the same time, you finally get your life back. I can go out I can make plans for the evening now, for instance, which I haven't been able to do for a while. So that was that. I've been doing that. So I'm in London. I'll be going back up to Scotland probably for the beginning of August, and then September we'll be up there probably full time. So
right, okay, cool.
That's the plan.
I was going to ask where you're kind of full time based, whether it was because you were over in LA for a while.
I've been left London in 2008, and then Mary and I bought a house in Scotland about 3 years ago, and so we're sort of like we're still a bit between the two, but we're sort of moving. Definitely aiming back to try and get back to Scotland soon. That's the plan.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. I just want. We've got a little boy, 4-year-old, our little boy Laurie, and I just think we both want him to go to school in Scotland, you know, that's our dream. So we'll see how it goes. When will you finish? When roughly will you guys finish, do you think?
Oh, it's really weather dependent.
Yes.
But we're hoping for like mid to late August. I think mid August is still the aim if we have good weather.
Yeah.
100. We've kind of got in our heads from the beginning. We're like 120 days. It'll be 120 days. Let's set our expectations at that. If it's more, we'll accept it on day 119.
Yeah.
And if it's less, fantastic.
Yeah.
We've had a few setbacks, so it could be a little bit longer, but yeah,
we're not too far off track though.
Yeah.
So it'll be around that, I think.
Okay.
Which is good because we kind of, it's really hard to know. You know, you do kind of, you can test these boats out, obviously, and we had the boat on Loch Lomond for a while, just filled with bags of sand. We were trying to row it up and down Loch Lomond to get a feel as to whether, you know, what speed were we going to be going, but it's too difficult. You know, out here you get huge waves and, you know, higher winds than you'd ever experience on Loch Lomond.
Yeah.
And even, you know, we had it obviously, you know, up and down the coast for quite a bit of time, but you can't really get a real sense of it. So we were kind of like, 120 days maybe, and then bizarrely enough, when we got a quarter of the distance in, we were exactly 30 days in. Half the distance, we were exactly 60 days in. And then it started to slip a wee bit on day 90, which was a couple of days ago.
Right.
But we'll see. I think it'll be around that.
So we had the storm, and then we had some adverse weather against us, and so we had to deploy a power anchor. It's essentially a parachute you put underwater, and it holds your course. And we just sit and you get jobs done. And obviously, like the average, the tracker that we have gives an average of our estimated arrival.
Yeah.
And it's been teetering around mid-August. And we made the mistake of checking it whilst we were on power anchor.
Yeah.
And it said we were due to arrive on Hogmanay. Which we were like, shit.
Never look at it. Never look at it.
I hadn't quite anticipated that.
That's what we had with when we did the long way up. We had the electric motorbikes, and we had on our GPS, it would tell us how many miles we had to go to get to where we were going. So we had the actual mileage. And then the motorbike told us how many miles it could do under current conditions, you know, at this speed, at this temperature. I mean, so you were always trying to get those two mileages to be the same, you know. And one day when we're down in Patagonia, we're coming up, and it was freezing cold, and we were riding along, and we're trying to get the mileages to match. And I was, you know, if it's too high, you slow down a bit, and you slow down a bit, and you slow down a bit. And I finally got the mileages to meet, you know, so that the bike said it could go as far as the GPS said it needed to go. And I looked at my speedo, and I was doing 19 miles an hour. I said, Charlie, it's going to take us 3 years to get to LA at this rate, you know. Unbelievable. But yeah. So I've got other questions. I've got other things I'm interested in.
Yeah, of course.
So
Please.
what about your power? How are you totally solar powered for all your electronics?
Yeah, exactly. We've got quite a lot of solar panels. We've got kind of a few that are placed on the cabins, on the deck, and then we've got like a fold-out one. And the main thing we use that for is for the water maker. So that's like by far the most power-hungry thing, you know, by about 10 times everything else. But then that powers everything else. We tend to keep most things off, to be honest, because when you're out in the middle of nowhere, there's no point in having your radio on or your AIS or your chart plotter or anything like that. So we kind of just keep it to autopilot is the only thing that will stay on pretty much the entire time. So
is the water maker? Does the water maker run all day long, or do you just have it on for a few hours? How long does it need to be on for?
No, you have to time it quite carefully. So you've got, you know, especially if you've got a cloudy day like we've got today, you've got to time it so you've got good sunlight basically, because the solar panels, they can charge the batteries reasonably well, but it's much more efficient to just drive electronics straight off the solar panels.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of wait for a moment in the day, and then you switch on for about half an hour to an hour. It kind of depends on how much water we're making. And then that should be enough, you know, and in an hour we'll make about 30 liters.
Oh, I didn't realize there was so much.
Plenty.
Oh, that's a lot an hour. Okay. Because that's what I was asking about these guys, this guy here.
Oh, amazing.
I didn't eat it yet.
Have you?
Shall I have a try?
What have you got?
Lamb sag.
Oh, very good.
A good one.
One of the lamb sag. One of the good ones.
Hang on.
We would usually join join you for one, but the sun's just come up. I don't quite feel like a lamb sag.
You don't want a
quite
lamb
yet,
sag at, it's at dawn. Lamb
5
sag at
a.m..
dawn is the good name of a movie, though. Lamb sag at dawn. So that's your power. Okay, so because I was thinking about the dehydrated food. Obviously, it takes up much less space on the boat, but also then you need to use fresh water for it. So, but you could never carry enough like cans of Spam on your boat, could you? To get you 120 days.
I think for this crossing, no. But I mean, I heard I was trying to overhear you guys chatting on the oars, but it was hopeless. But I think you were talking about a voyage for madmen, and similar to that was the first British pair to row the North Atlantic.
Yeah.
This guy called Ridgway and Blythe.
Right.
And they just took bottled water and canned food in like an open topped boat, and they just had a tarpaulin that they pulled over them when they hit a storm. It was I was proper hardcore. So it is. You know, the early days of ocean rowing, and that's what they would have to do. They would just take enough water as ballast, and they would be limited by that, very limited by that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for the duration that the amount of time would be in a sea, it would have been impossible. Yeah, it would have been impossible.
But 30 liters in an hour is amazing. That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
And you've got a hand pump one if you needed to.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of. We stupidly, I mean, about probably a third in, we thought it was going to be too cloudy that day, so we're like, we'll get the hand pump out and we'll use that, and that's about 4 liters an hour, something like that.
Okay,
but it's quite hard work, especially if you're rowing for, if you're doing a 2-on 1-off shift, then it's pretty brutal rowing for an hour and then having half an hour and you've got a hand pump whilst you do whatever else you do.
Totally.
It's miserable. It's miserable.
You never stop. And at nighttime you do a third each. So to when you go to sleep, how long do you get? Like 5 hours or 6 hours or something?
Yeah. So we'll do it. It's probably, I mean, I'd say you average about 4.5 to 5.5. It kind of depends on how quickly you can get to bed, and that's split in half as well. So we'll do, it's 1 on the oars and then the 2 are resting, and we tend to do. We try and stay in the kind of 90-minute sleep cycles. So we'll either do, you start with just a 90-minute at the beginning. I row, Lachlan sleeps for an hour, like twice that, so 2 90-minute cycles. But it's usually kind of, as I said, chopped off slightly. So and we'll do that twice basically. So you've got 4 90-minute cycles over the full night.
Yeah.
But then you'll lose a bit of time, changing over, or if it's like stormy, or if we had a problem with the autopilot where it kept on going at the beginning, and it was a nightmare. You'd kind of get in your bunk, and then 2 minutes later you get knocked. Gotta bring it back on course. Sorry.
Are you the one? You're the one who can fix them. Fix it.
He's our go gadget man. I don't know. We call him. He's like a walking version of a pocket Swiss Army knife. Oh, I don't know about that. And we just, and he's quite wee as well, so he fits in all the compartments. It's very handy. Managed so far. We've not had anything that's been too catastrophic, which has been good. But yeah,
good. We'll keep our fingers. And at nighttime, is it ever do your eyes adjust so you can always see something, or is it pitch black?
Yeah, they definitely do. I mean, we generally speaking don't have any lights on, and then at changeover, the head torches that we have, they're designed for this environment, so they automatically go to red.
Yeah.
Because the red light preserves your night vision.
Yeah.
And you do. I mean, when there's a clear sky, even if there isn't a moon, you can still, you still get a bit of light from the stars. It's quite remarkable because there's no light pollution.
It must be amazing. You must have seen skies like nobody's ever seen but sailors,
The light's incredible. The Milky Way. I mean, it's also incredible because it's Southern Hemisphere. It's a new sky for us.
Yeah.
And it's just just breathtaking on a clear night. And then when you do have a full moon, it's like a floodlight. It's quite incredible.
Amazing.
It's really beautiful.
Okay, well, I've got other notes. Hang on. I have to change my I was going to ask about I've done self-steering, storms, fear. We talked a bit about fear. about that.
Yeah.
Mental positivity, sleeping. Of course, the big one, of course, I was interested in is it's going to the toilet, and how what does that entail?
Yeah, it's a common question. It's so we've got pee bottles. That's the first thing.
Right.
Just to save you having to go down to the end of the bottle.
Well,
yeah.
very
there
handy.
you go. So you don't have to lean off the side of the boat, which is dangerous.
Like a traveling ensuite.
And then,
But what about
and then
number
we've
two?
got a bucket. Yeah, down at the end of the boat, which is quite a sturdy bucket with a nice thick rim. It's remarkably comfortable. It is remarkably comfortable. We had two, and I don't know how it happened because it as I said, everything's tethered, and we've got a whole load of carabiners for attaching stuff on. And I think it was day 5 or something like that. The original poo bucket. I watched it happen. I was coming down the boat, and the line was kind of moving a bit as I was walking down the boat, and the thing, just fell off into the water. So we've had some shit. The new poo bucket, which we only have 2 on board. You always have reserves of stuff, but we don't have another one after this.
The only redundancy we now have is a collapsing bucket, which would be a bit of a disaster.
Oh no!
So, I know.
And
So
can you get, because you're not going fast enough for it to be an issue, you can rinse the bucket out in the sea. You don't have to worry about it pulling your arms off and your cords and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You're going pretty slow.
it was a bit of an issue on power anchor. I won't, to be perfectly honest, because we were static. We were moving with the ocean, and we won't go into the details, but yeah, it was. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
We
It
were
just
chased by.
followed you along. Oh no!
Oh, yeah, they chased us for hours.
Oh no! And what about washing and stuff? Do you what do you do? Do you wash in the sea?
Yeah.
I mean, that's all you got, right?
I mean, to be honest, it's pretty smelly on this boat. These shorts and t-shirt I've not washed for quite a long time now.
Yeah.
I won't tell you how long, but it's quite a long time. But yeah, we will wash some stuff. So we've got some socks on the line. And then we've got our sheets you hang up inside the cabins, and then just try and air them out, as best you can that way.
And then washing ourselves, we have to clean the bottom of the hull because we're going at a slow enough pace that growth builds remarkably fast. But it's staggering, especially in the first half. Within 5 days, you've got a centimeter of like mollusks and growth.
Wow.
And that obviously creates a huge amount of drag and slows us down by 0.5 of a knot or more. So you get in the water, and it's quite nice. Like, we look forward to it because you get a full wash down, and then you rinse off with fresh water afterwards, and you feel great. You feel remarkably good after after
got the Jaws theme tune playing in your head the whole time.
I know. I was going to say, are you not worried about sharks? And have you seen sharks out there?
Yeah, there's been quite a few. We've seen quite a few. We had a hammerhead actually not too long ago, just following the boat.
Beautiful.
Which was quite cool. But I think we've been advised that it's not too much of a problem up until, it's getting quite close actually now, but basically between kind of New Zealand and Australia, we obviously won't be going that low, but that sort of distance, that's where you need to watch out, maybe not get in the water, because there's all sorts of nasty sharks that can do some damage. But it's still pretty disconcerting because you obviously see them and then you're getting in the water and you're convinced that. The other thing is jellyfish.
Yeah, jellyfish.
We've stung a few times by just wee little baby jellyfish.
Little baby, they're Pacific man o' wars.
Oh yeah.
So they're I think actually, strictly speaking, they're not even jellyfish. I don't know what they are, but they're odd looking little things, like clear jelly sails on top, and they have these long tendrils going down.
Wow.
But they're so small, the wee ones, and you don't see them. And you're in the water. And it's more like a nettle sting when they're that size, so it's not an issue. But it's pretty disconcerting. If there's anything touching you when you're in the water, you go immediate panic mode. What's that? Who's that? And then
I imagine.
But yeah. So that's the extent of our washing, to be honest.
Right.
And baby wipes.
Baby wipes are just miracle.
That's every shift.
Charlie will be very happy to hear that. He's always whenever we get asked, which we often do, if you've got any tips, what are your tips? That's his first tip. Always take loads of baby wipes. Yeah.
That's it.
Definitely. Now, Ewan, I need to thank you, I think on behalf of all Ewans around the world, because anywhere outside of Scotland, pretty much, if I introduce myself and I say I'm called Ewan, people they're like Owen, Owen, and then I say, well, you know Ewan McGregor, and that for some reason that just completely clears it up, and they know how they can say Ewan as a result of it. So
That's
I
amazing.
sincerely thank you for that. Honestly,
I've had some weird ones. The consistent one I've had over the years, which is so odd, is Eugene. Like,
Eugene.
yeah, I think it's just because of the U at the front. They're like, oh, I know this name has got a U at the front, and they go Eugene. You're like, Eugene? What?
I've started going in South America, in Peru. I just went with Juan. I thought that was easier.
That's it. That'll do. Yeah. There's some countries where they just can't. It doesn't make any sense, does it? The names.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Cute. No. Very cool. Right, we should, unless you've got any more questions,
No,
I'm very conscious of your time, and
No, I'm
honestly,
just
we
thrilled
can't thank you enough.
I can't thank you enough. It's just such an amazing thing to be able to speak to you right out there. It looks, even I've just got used to the image of the sea behind you, but I can't believe you're in the Peru. It's not like there's a beach the other way. You know what I mean? There's not like a palm tree this way. It's amazing. You're very inspiring. And I wish you all the best for the rest of it, guys. Really. I'll be following you along with everyone else.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
Good luck,
And
good
tell you
luck.
what, when we finally make it home,
Yeah,
because we'll be bringing the boat back to Scotland. Let's go for a row if you're up for
I'd
it.
love it. Let's do it.
We could go up wherever you're based. We can meet on Loch Lomond or on the west coast. It'd be great.
Yeah, I'd love that. I'd absolutely love that. I look forward to meeting you all back at home. Yeah, that'll be great.
Awesome.
All right, well,
Phenomenal.
take care.
You're a legend.
Listen,
Thanks so
have
much.
a great time. Good luck. I'm thinking about you.
Cheers, man.
Cheers, boys.
See you later.